Coffee and Tools, episode 31. I know I promised to do planers this week. It's not going to happen. We're going to jump to something else, but we'll be back to planers hopefully with another week or two. This week something came up this past week. Two things actually happened. One was I took a look at a tool and said, okay, I've about had enough. We need to do a review or just send some vibe out there to the tool industry about certain things. And the other thing I did this last week, I had a huge breakthrough, built a sort of a new type of cross-cut sled for my table saw, and I'm going to be excited because next week I'm going to show you that, and that's going to be really cool. But this week, right now, I want to just quickly jump on something here that's been a problem. I've got two tools here. One's a brad nailer, which I'm sure a lot of us woodworkers were pretty handy tool. And also have something else that's just a stapler for shooting staples. Both of them are pneumatic. They both work off air pressure. If you could combine these two, I thought that would be a pretty cool tool. Maybe not when we come back. Well, hi, I'm glad you could stop by. What I was saying was I've got a brad nailer, which takes various sizes of brad nails, and we sort of reviewed this one before in the past. And then I've also got, this is my little air stapler, and it runs, 3/8 and 1/2 inch staplers. T50 Arrow specifically fits on this particular gun. And again, it's pneumatic, and you can, there you go, through 3 staples. You can do the same with the brad nail gun, just shoot brad nails in. But I came up on something that excited for some reason it caught my interest, and I said, hey, that's really awesome. I've got to have one of those. It's a gun that does both. It does brad nails and it does staples, and it's electric, made by Ryobi. So when I first saw this tool, I got really excited because it takes an 18-volt lithium or whatever, I guess you call it the 1+ type battery even, with Ryobi. And you can take this and just plug it in the back, and you've got a brad nail gun, and you've also got a stapler. And after owning the gun for a little bit of time here, I quickly discovered that it's not a good brad nail gun, and it's not a good stapler. So what do you have? This is going on eBay. It's out of here. Really think the idea was pretty cool with Ryobi doing this. But the problems are, first off, this little safety stop piece they have up in here. It is so hard to push in and so hard to work with that on a lot of my softer materials and woods, I can't ever get this to lock in to allow the gun to fire brad nail or a stapler. So that's not very good. The other problem I've got is like anything else, loading the gun's a bit hard. You have to pull it back this way and you sort of guess at what you're putting in there. But it is very limited to sizes on the brad nails or the staples. It's limited to certain sizes, and it seems like that's always the size I don't want with the job that I'm doing. So that didn't work out very well. The electric part was probably the only good thing about this whole deal. The other issue that I quickly discovered with staples, and specifically staples, a lot of times when you're working with a stapler, say around upholstery or something, you just can't deal with all this material back here. What you want is just the nose or just the top piece here to get into the tool or into the work area where you can punch the staple in place. And again, this was a total failure. As a brad nailer, same problem. You have to have a certain amount of space or you just can't seem to get the tool into the job to where you want it. And a lot of times you ended up cockeyed, sideways, this way, that way, trying to get a different angle to get something and fighting, and then you pull the trigger and nothing. So after a while you just it's like, okay, I've had enough. So the combination idea, I very rarely ever see one tool that does two different things like that is so awesome. And unfortunately this is for me this thing was a total failure. And like I said, I'm going to put it on eBay and see if I can't get rid of it as early as today and just get it out of here, because I don't want to ever see this thing again. And it's one less 18-volt tool I don't need around here. But hey, thanks for stopping by at Coffee and Tools this week.